But if I change nothing and just plug it into the left side of my computer, everything works perfect. The fuck? What? Like, I'm sitting there going through all my settings trying to figure out why I can't get any audio and nothing's working. And I'm like, motherfucker. And then I'm like, well, the only thing I did different this time was plug it in on this side. Oh, shit, everything works. Okay, whatever. I don't even know. So.
Skype is telling me that I need to notify you two that you're being recorded to avoid any legal snags. So,
well, that's it. I'm fucking out of here. So did you guys have a chance to watch those 2 videos?
I didn't even get the email.
What the fuck's wrong with your email, Shannon?
I think it's on your side.
Dude, the 4 horsemen of the podcast is Shannon's house phone ringing. Zach has no audio. Shannon doesn't get the email, and then at some point Zach's kid screams.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, dude. Which one do you want to do? The SH more or what? Or S more?
Yeah, S more. Yeah, that's
at Comcast.
Yep. .net.
All right. Well, I sent it once. I'll send it again. Shit.
You put the S more 0317 on there.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I do have a lot of legal stuff going on right now too. So.
Oh yeah, is that all go down tomorrow?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. It's going to be one of those teleconference court hearings. So we'll see. It'll be suit and tie from the waist up and boxers from the waist down.
All right.
Shannon's being charged with 4 separate cases of assault with a deadly weapon.
My dick.
Hence the boxers. But
yeah. Make that 5 cases.
Right. Well, best of luck to you, man.
Yeah, thank you.
You think there'll be any resolution tomorrow, or is it just still more bullshit?
I hope so. We have everything on the docket.
There's a chance for resolution tomorrow?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a chance. But we'll see.
Gotcha. Chance for you to get these. Just. I'd like to read the charge of. Could you get to the BOFA? Could you get down to the BOFA? BOFA, yeah, both of these nuts, man. Good times. All right, so let's see here. We have, so I don't know if you got it yet, Shan, but what we're going to do is how basically the Microsoft third-party letdown bullshit.
You mean how there was no gameplay of Assassin's Creed?
There's no gameplay in the gameplay showcase? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
That. And then, but the link I have there has all the titles that they showed. In case you want to talk about it, even.
That's good because I was trying to look those up and find out which ones I really wanted to talk about. The only thing I remember about it really was Scorn, so I got to watch that one. And then I watched the PS5 tech demo. I guess today.
That was the Unreal 5 thing. We're going to talk about that, and then let's see, Tony Hawk getting a remaster, because fuck yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm.
And then, and then we're going to talk about the game you've been playing, which is apparently Butt Plug Paradise 64. So.
God damn it.
I'm excited to hear about that, Shannon.
Yeah.
Okay.
I also added a thing with a link, the Cassette Beast, a trailer for that came out, and it looks kind of interesting. It's like Pokemon meets Digimon looking.
All right. Finally.
Yeah, you know what they need? They need a legit Digimon game. I'd be way more into that than Pokemon.
I mean, they have Digimon games.
I know, but they suck.
Well, I don't know what more you want from them, Shannon.
A good game.
Says the person that buys every Dragon Ball game.
Dude, I don't buy everyone.
Day one bought Kakarot and hasn't played it yet.
Yeah, right.
I haven't.
I know you. That's the joke.
All right, cut this shit. This is gonna be the like cold intro. That right there. Anyone hasn't bought it yet? You're like, I haven't. That has to be the intro.
Oh yeah, I'll put it in right there. All right, let's just deal. For some reason my email's not loading right now, so.
All right, we'll just roll with it. You basically know. Oh, here, I'll just drop the fucking link in the chat here. Haha! Look at that.
Go. Look at that. Using technology
solve the problem. Usually technology only hurts me, but hey. Okay. There you go.
There it is. Bam.
All right. So, are you guys ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
I was born ready.
All right. Baby, you were born that way. And on that note. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Pixar Life. This is episode 91, recording on May 13th, 2020. We are 9 episodes away from 100, and I'm sure we'll all be late to that one, too. It'll be good. So, getting on our way to our centennial, joining me, as always, Mr. Shannon Moore. Shannon, how you doing?
Oh, man, I'm doing good. The weekend, aside from it being Mother's Day, was not kind to me. I tore my calf muscle in my right leg.
Ooh.
Yeah.
How the hell did you do that?
Doing some backyard working out, doing some burpees. Went to touch the sky and ended up touching the grass with my face.
Yeah, that's not fun.
No.
I have torn muscles before, and that takes a while to get over. So especially now since you're 40, have fun with that next 6 months of your life.
I know, dude. Like 40, starting off with a bang. Like just stuck in house on quarantine, and just trying to be healthy, and I can't even do that right. Like just
remember when you used to injure yourself like that 2 decades ago, and you're like, that sucks. And then like you'd kind of deal with it for like a week to 2, and now like you literally know that's months, maybe forever. Like you have the thought of like that might just kind of hurt me for the rest of my life. I don't even know. That might.
Yeah, it's a grim reality that I need to face. That I'm just gonna be running around the backyard like my dad runs around the backyard, but at a good 25 years ahead of him. It's comforting.
The cat's in the cradle in the silver spoon. Good stuff. Beyond old men hurting themselves, we have a third party of this podcast. Also with us, as always, Mr. Justin Time Carter. How you doing, Justin?
What up, ghouls and girls? Pretty good.
All right.
If you can't tell, I was like recording at my parents' house. I'm not in the closet.
Yeah, I didn't notice we were out of the closet today.
Yeah, I was like, they're out of town, so I've been keeping the plants alive while they're not here. And so to get away from the sheddening that's happening at my house because of the huskies.
You need to learn how to spin wool now. Just make yourself some clothing from all the husky fur.
Yeah, I know. I'm secretly hoping at some point during the podcast my parents' house phone will ring, and it'll be it'll be like a weird shoe on the other foot type of scenario.
Shannon's been praying for that since we started.
Yeah, it's gonna happen, dude. Like I'm just waiting for it. It just it's inevitable. We are like the linchpin for the family chaos around here. So it's gonna happen. I'm just gonna mute it when it does. I've already muted it. I was gonna tell you, Justin. I was gonna ask you, how's your fart pillow? Like now that give it a chance to air out. Did you air it out like when you left? Like put it up somewhere where you can get that stank out of it?
I did not. Normally, after I record, I usually sleep real well because I sleep face first in the pillow.
That's the methane poisoning, Justin.
Yeah.
That's just methane poisoning.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
I like wake up really confident the next morning.
Wow. Where do we go from there?
Nowhere but up, baby.
Yeah. Literally.
I don't know. We're gonna talk about that Xbox conference.
Yeah. So, wait. Yeah. I'm trying to find a way to transition. Speaking of fart pillows, let's go ahead and talk about the Microsoft 2020 showcase. we broke Justin.
I know.
The Microsoft 2020 showcase that happened on the 7th last week. I was in. You kind of got the feeling something was up because like the last time we all recorded, they had said, "Hey, it's going to be new gameplay for Xbox One or Xbox Series X titles, and get ready for reveals and so on and so forth." And so during the last time we talked, we're like, "Oh, I hope we see this, and I want to see some OS stuff, and like this is going to be like sounds like the first half of a E3 type of bonanza." And I think a lot of people thought the same thing because about 12 hours before the event, Microsoft started to get out on Twitter like, "Oh, hey, guys, like, calm down a little bit. This is going to be just some trailers, only third-party stuff. Again, no Halo, no gear. Again, guys, I can't talk enough about how we're not gonna do some big Xbox stuff tomorrow." And it was just like, oh, it's okay. Oh, it's gonna be one of these. Oh shit. And it was, and we'll get back to what the main issue was in a while, but they went through some games and outside of what you knew was going to be there, which was Valhalla. Did you guys see the trailer for Bright Memory Infinite? That was one of the ones I want to talk to you guys about because it was one of the only games in there where I was like, okay, this seems like. So it's essentially a first-person shooter where you also have a sword, and the trailer it seemed like the person breaking into a compound and then breaking out of it. The thing that was interesting to me about it is like, yeah, there was some pretty rad like Devil May Cry-ish type gun and sword combos as you're working your way through this compound, but then you get in a car and it straight up turned into like dirt or Forza. and you kept driving, and that's when I had a moment of, and it kind of got glossed over, and maybe I'm just out of a loop on a whole genre that I don't know exists, but if I could play a first-person shooter and all of a sudden it becomes like Forza for a little while and I'm racing to get away, that sounds rad as fuck to me. And they might not nail it in this game. I don't know. But what they showed, I was super into. I was like, oh yeah, okay. And then like I drive to my next checkpoint, get with people trying to run me off the road or whatever, and then like pop out and get in the next firefight and then like jump into another car and get the hell out of there. Like, yeah, okay. I'm down. This sounds good to me. Did you guys see that one at all?
Yeah, it's the GTA I always wanted. Like it's not the third person view, it's the first person view. I doubt I'll ever use the sword or like I'll forget it's there just because I can shooty things. But I was a little confused because when it first came out, like I thought I heard him say it was a single person made this game. And I was like, wow, okay. Like a single person made this? This is insane. And then,
you're like, I've seen Negative Space, and that's a single person. Like,
ouch. Yeah, but no, it's
Justin's left the podcast.
I'm like,
he's over there just like quietly stewing. But no, it's
throwing up the juices.
But yeah, it looks good. And I will say it is like I was shocked overall by the trailers. It seemed predominantly horror based. And
I thought that was interesting too.
And it was good for me to see something that wasn't necessarily like a thriller or a shocker or like, something that was gross or sexual or moist or like
or like all of that in one trailer, which is what we'll get to in a second.
But yeah, it was good. Justin, what did you think of it?
I did not watch the trailer. But now from listening to you guys gush about it after the pod, I'm going to have to check it out because it sounds very interesting.
It's more interesting than it is good, if that makes sense. Like, it's one of those things where watching Bright Memory Infinite, I don't know if that game's going to be good. It's not one of those things. It's not like the BioShock Infinite trailer where you saw it and your mind melted and you were like, fuck yeah, whatever it costs, give me that game. It's more watching the playthrough go like, oh, I never even fucking considered that. That's great. Like, that would be such a cool idea, you know? And it's one of those type of things. And that's kind of what I'm hoping for seeing next generation stuff is the expanse on that type of stuff. Like, okay, we have first person shooters. We have this construct that's existed for decades. What do we do to make it more? And this is an idea of that. And it's like, oh, that's great. I didn't even consider that as a possibility. And it's the first one of those where I see the ability to branch beyond what's already there. And I think it's cool. That's really it. But yeah, other trailers we can talk about that they showed. I mean, they did the standard Dirt 5, like, hey guys, here's a real pretty racer, you know, like it wasn't Forza, it was Dirt, and hey, it looks like an awesome Dirt game. I don't know. Same with Madden. It's like, yep, that looks a lot like football. Still, you know, like, it's pretty. But then let's talk Scorn for a second, because there's this trailer for Scorn, and I'll tell you right now, if someone didn't get H.R. Geiger's estate to sign off on this game, I don't know if this game is coming out, because holy shit, they're going to get sued. Like, it just looks like a Geiger painting come to life, and it's someone that really, really, really likes his style. Like, really likes it. Almost too much. Because, man, it... right down to, like, the dick walls. And, like, the random, like, dripping phallus. And, you know, like, the huge openings that are wounds but are also female genitalia. It's like, come on, guy. Like, let's... Really, can we scale this back a little bit? You know, I mean... I was 16 once in a Tower Records and saw that art book too. You know, like I did that also. Like, I didn't really need to do this. I have no idea what the hell this game is. If it's first person, if it's third person, if it's an action game, if it's a shooter, if it's a puzzle game. I don't know idea. The trailer's just fucking gross. And that's really all I got from it. You know, it's like, oh, it's an alien Giger-esque looking world with a bunch of super wet, gross shit all around. Awesome.
Yeah, it was super dark. I didn't really know what was going on. You know, the aesthetic looked good, but yeah, it looked like somebody watched Prometheus and was just like, this is my favorite movie. I've watched it like 30 times. I'm just going to make a game that has all of the same aesthetics, because if I'm going to work on this game for like 100 or like, you know, thousands of hours, I want to make sure I enjoy it. That being said, like, it was eerie, but yeah, like, what is up with that wall? Like, I mean, that's the only thing that like really
Right.
just like stuck out. Like, there's this, I mean, they really focus on it, and not only focus on it coming out, but like going back in and retracting. I'm like, okay, well, like, what is that? Like, what did that serve? Like, you could have used your real estate so much better, giving me something that was actually, you know, a little bit more, you know, like indicated a little bit more like what this game was about, other than, yeah, like, I mean, it was pretty, but I mean, it was just weird. Like, you know, it just reeks of xenomorphs like all over the place.
Yeah. Well, you know, when he was pitching the game initially, or she, or whoever made this, someone told these people to go lick a wall of dicks, and they said, hey, you know, that's not a bad idea. Why don't we go ahead and make it that a game? And yeah, I have no idea, man. It's like, when it got to the huge dripping phallus part, I was like, what am I even watching? How did this trailer make the cut? Like, that's the real mystery. Like,
Yeah.
someone in Microsoft approved this and said, hell yeah, give it real estate for our 2020 showcase. I mean, it's like no one was sitting in a desk in the suburbs of Seattle while they're working at home going, hey guy, can we not do the big wall of dicks? Can we just not? Can you maybe cut that frame out? I don't know. It's
no, you know what it is. It's like somebody sitting at home. They're like, you know what? Like, you know what everybody's doing at home, like while they're stuck in quarantine. Like everybody's getting super horny. Let's just put this in there because everybody's gonna love that stuff. And let's let it fly. See what happens. It's just it just landed wrong on so many levels.
I was gonna say while we were talking, I just watched the trailer for it, and my first thought when they showed the outside of the building was exactly Prometheus. I was like, this looks exactly like the opening scene from Prometheus.
Right? And I mean, maybe you fight a giant starfish thing at the end of it. Who knows? But it's just whatever, man. Like, I guess I'll shelve. I was so overtaken by the blatantness of the aesthetic that like I kind of can't focus on anything else. Mm-hmm. And so maybe it's awesome. Who knows? I'll wait for a gameplay trailer before I write it off. But at first blush, it's like, holy crap, you guys. Like, what is this?
Well, and maybe they went through like the entire folder of like game trailers and he's like, sir, there's only 4 of them that we can actually stream in 4K. He's like, all right, put them on.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably more truth to that than any of us care to admit. So the one I wanted to talk to Shannon about actually was Scarlet Nexus.
Mm-hmm.
Because I couldn't tell if that was rad or the dumbest thing I've ever seen. and I want an anime expert like Mr. Shannon Moore to walk me through why maybe this wasn't the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
I don't know. I mean, I gotta try and play it first. I mean, it's got a cool aesthetic. I do like.
No. I'm not letting you do that. First impressions. Yeah, we can play all these games, Shannon. They might all be awesome. I don't know. Yeah. I'm working with the same material you have. Why is this not the dumbest thing I've ever seen?
I don't know. I mean, like, you got like this psychological. I mean, you can move things around. Like, I mean, you got this pyrokinetic like ability. I mean, it looks pretty cool. I mean, the art aesthetic looks good. I mean, the controls are the thing that's gonna seal the deal for me. I mean, I honestly can't tell you if this is a game that I'm going to want to play, but I mean, it looks pretty good. It looks kind of Bayonetta-esque. It's just, it's got a little bit more of a more cartoony style than I think Bayonetta does. I think Bayonetta kind of tries to go like more lifelike. But I mean, that's kind of what I gathered from it. It's just kind of like a prettier Bayonetta.
I mean, more for me, it was like, why are flowers scary?
Well, they're going with that whole zombie thing again. Like, they got like I feel it strikes me as like a Last of Us type of a parasite that like takes people over, and this guy's got to save the world. It's a typical, it's the typical storyline of any video game, but it's just it's got a cleaner aesthetic to it. I like it a little bit more. I like that art style. Is it a game that I want to play? I don't typically like the Bayonetta style games. I don't feel I play them the way that they're supposed to be played. I know that's just me and what my take on it, but like those games typically aren't in my wheelhouse. So
is Bayonetta 3 still coming out this year? Wasn't that supposed to hit this year at some point?
That's a thing.
Yeah, Bayonetta 3 Switch exclusive actually.
Oh, so it's not going to be good then.
Says the person who plays only Switch. Yes. We won't go through all of them, but there's a couple others I wanted to talk to you about. Hey, Justin or Shannon, does Destiny with mutant dinosaurs sound all right to you? Because I think that's what Second Extinction is, and I'm kind of on board with that. Like, I don't know. It sounds kind of rad to me.
All I have to say is you can't show your son this. You can't show your son this because if you show him this, it's a day one purchase for you automatically.
No. Actually, if I show him this, he will be furious at me because all of the dinosaurs are getting murdered.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We're coming from a child who believes the T-Rex in all of the Jurassic Park movies is the hero.
Okay.
And he built a good case. Like, he's like, hey, look, he saved him from the Velociraptors at the end of that movie.
That's true.
Like, I didn't. I mean, who was fighting the Indominus Rex? It wasn't the Velociraptors. It was they got more teeth with that T-Rex. And I'm like, you know what, dude? You're all right. You got to build case. You got a future lawyer on my hands. You know. But no, like I was watching that real quick, and I have the caveat here. I know this game's gonna suck, but I'm hoping it sucks in like a good way, where it's like a 50-cent blood on the sand. This game sucks, but it's hella fun. And like, I don't know, murdering dinosaurs with a squad sounds kind of all right. I could see I could see that appealing to me. I don't know. But then the other one I wanted to talk about, which is a game I actually think could be pretty damn cool, is The Medium. Now it looks to be like a Silent Hill type, less actiony, just more horror based survival horror type game. And the team that made it is the people that made the Blair Witch game, which was not good. Observer, which was good, and the first Layers of Fear, which was good. So I'm kind of hoping they've taken a lot of lessons learned from those three games and can apply them to this new property. It's got the same composer from the original Silent Hill, which always lends a good aesthetic as far as music goes. And they said it will not be cross-gen. This is a Series X game only, next-gen only, because they want to do stuff and hardware-wise that the old systems just can't do. So I'm curious to see what the hell that even means. Like, what does that translate into? And yeah, do you guys have any thoughts on this? I'm a big Silent Hill guy. I love the Silent Hills. So anytime I hear, hey, we're making a game kind of in that mode, and we got pieces of the Silent Hill team on this team, my ears always go up. So I just wanted to see what you guys thought about that.
Well, Justin, he's more of the horror type game aficionado, I believe. Like me, that's not my. I probably would not be able to handle that game.
Really?
Just
you, Shannon, really?
Yeah. I'm a scaredy cat. I'm sorry,
I was
can't
like,
do it.
dude, Shannon's a wuss. Like, I don't know.
I am, dude. I don't want to play a game to be scared. I want to play a game to shoot things and have fun and laugh.
Did you ever beat Resident Evil 2?
No. But it's not because I haven't like wanted to do it. It's just I haven't.
It's
because another game came out that Shannon bought, so he started playing that instead.
It's not that I haven't wanted to. It's that I haven't wanted to. He just says it differently. You know, the inflections.
You know, I will tell you right now, like the whole like Mr. X like segment does make me a little bit more nervous and stressed out. My anxiety level does rise because I just want to hide. I don't want to like actually have to go out and face the world, much like real life. But you know, I'll get back there someday. I think so, maybe, probably.
Well, anyway, Justin, what are your thoughts on the movie?
I mean, since God knows, unless it's a pachinko machine, Konami's not going to give us anything.
Right.
So unless they sell the rights to Capcom. So, you know, if they can, like, pull off, you know, that, like, Silent Hill 2, you know, kind of aesthetic and stuff, dude, I'm all for it. Like, I mean, I haven't played Evil Within 2, and I played Evil Within 1. And it was more like action-y, I think, than like Silent Hill. Like they tried to find like Silent Hill meets like The Last of Us or whatever, because that was kind of like around the time Last of Us came out, so everything was trying to like be like that game.
No, Evil Within 2, I saw it on maybe it was the last PlayStation sale. Like you can get that game under $10 now.
Well, see, that's what's funny is I own it. I just haven't played it.
It's rad. It's totally worth playing. Again, you're not wrong. It's way more action based than like a Silent Hill typically is, I think. But it's solid, man. It's really good. Way better than I thought it was going to be. I was expecting the hottest of trash, and it actually turned out to be a really good game. So I recommend that. But yeah, I'm excited to see more of the medium and what that means.
What did you think of Vampire: The Masquerade?
That's one of those ones where, that first game I really liked, and at the same time feels super dated now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna want to see. It's one of those, like, when they announce a new Fallout, and you're like, sure, that's great. Show me the systems. Like, let me see how those menus work. Like, what are we talking about here? And I think for me with Vampire, I'm in a total wait and see mode for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it kind of gave me the BioShock vibes, like with the point of view and the hands being out and everything like that. But like that was another one of those like super grody like demos or like trailers. Like I was just like, what? Why do I gotta watch everybody's faces getting stretched out? Like, just show me something a little bit more gameplay oriented rather than just people doing gross things to other people.
Well, if gameplay is what you were looking for, Shannon, then you should have been loving the Ubisoft Valhalla trailer.
Oh, yeah?
Nothing but gameplay.
Really? Were you watching the same one I was watching?
Shannon, it said in-game footage.
I mean, I must have missed it when I farted. I mean, I had to look down, investigate the situation, make sure I didn't have to go to the bathroom. I looked back up again, and it just looked like more pre-rendered cutscenes.
Well, and the thing is like, it probably was all in engine or whatever, but still, that was such a bait and switch. Like, that was, and it was funny because they were doing it, they showed that, trailer as a lead into an interview about Valhalla, and the guy that was doing the interview was like, am I mistaken, or did we just see the first gameplay of Assassin's Creed? And I expected the answer to be like, no, you didn't. Okay, here, and for them to do like a rope it up of like, oh, here's the actual thing we were gonna show, like kind of like a ha ha ha, gotcha, and here's the trailer, and the guy was like, oh yeah, this scenes and blah blah. And I'm like, guys, I just watched this trailer. Like, those were all just pre-rendered shit. Like, there wasn't a fight. There wasn't scaling a building. There wasn't throwing down a town. There wasn't sailing. It's like, what the hell was this? Like,
I mean, to be fair, they probably filmed that interview before the trailer was even ready, so he probably had no idea what the fuck they actually played and just told him, gave him cue cards of what to say.
That's a very good point.
They're like, oh yeah, there's going to be some gameplay and stuff like that, and then they're like, oh, do we have that footage? They're like, yeah, no, let's just roll with what we got.
Well, and the thing that I thought was funny was the blowback was pretty instantaneous when everyone was doing the same thing. All three of us were with like, what the fuck was that, guys? And Microsoft, and more to the point, Ubisoft, doubling down on, what that was? Gameplay footage. That's what that was, you effing rubes. And it was just like, what? Really? Like, this is how you're coming back? Not like, oh, we missed, maybe we didn't message this correctly, or maybe we set expectations too high. It was like, no, you're all wrong. That was gameplay footage.
I mean, hey, we sent over the wrong demo reel. How about that? Like, you could say that.
Yeah.
We could play that one off.
Totally.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like one of those things where it's like, you say something to your wife or something and you're in the wrong. So it's either you admit you're wrong or you just double down. And they definitely double down. Like,
you're like, and furthermore, cats need to wear pajamas. Not just the dog.
Dogs also always land on their feet. Are you fucking stupid?
Fine. Let me get the dog and go to the second story. You'll see. Well,
and then they don't, and then you're like, well, my dogs do. Like, I don't. Your dog is weird.
Yeah, totally. I guess your dog has broken legs now. Anyway, I'm going home.
The wind was blowing in my eyes.
Oh, you don't twist your dogs when you throw them? What the hell? This is the most random tangent. Anyway, but getting off that disappointment, can I talk about something that left me with a lot of excitement, and I'm so happy, which is Tony Hawk's getting a remaster, MFers. Let's talk about Tony Hawk 1 and 2. And yes, that's 1 and 2. That's the name, not ampersand, not anything. It's Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2. Getting a remaster, coming to all the current stuff on September 4th. And the price actually surprised me. It's coming in at that Crash remaster price of $39.99. And of course, there's a $100 version that gets you a skateboard deck because, of course, there is. But, you know, and yeah, it's supposedly got all the levels from 1 and 2, and it includes the revert from 3 in the moveset. So it's pretty sick, you guys. Like, that trailer looks amazing. I've never seen a better warehouse in my life, and I like that they did in the trailer the like, this is where this scene looked like in the first game. This is what it looks like now, because it's totally one of those things where I remember the old game way better than what it actually looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Because that shit was 20 years ago, and I was probably drunk and high when I was playing a lot of the time. Yeah, this game got me through college, is what I'm saying. Like, I spent a lot of my college years playing Tony Hawk 1 and 2, you guys. Like, a lot. But anyway, so yeah, like, just seeing the way the warehouse looks, the school looks, the beach, all that stuff, all these super familiar locales, but, you know, done with modern, all the modern bells and whistles. It was super impressive. And honestly, this is one of those things, like, all they have to do to not screw this up, here's the base level, is just make it control the same way. Just have the controls and the physics feel exactly the same, and everything else will work out okay. You know, when they did the Tony Hawk HD release, which when this first hit, I thought was like 4 or 5 years ago. That was in 2012. When they did that. I was like, oh, right, that was a 360 game. That wasn't even an Xbox One game or PS4 game. So when they did that, the main issue with that was the physics felt totally off. Like, the jumps felt really weird. The controls felt just super mushy, and it became really kind of unfun to play because I, like many other people, have this muscle memory burned in of how a run on the warehouse is supposed to go. Like, oh, if I'm going to hit all 5 bells in the school, I know exactly what to do and where to go. And so to have that be off just kind of ruined the whole experience for me. And I didn't really care how it looked because I just couldn't do what I wanted to do. And they did some other dumb choices. Like, they removed some assets in levels so you couldn't do the same runs anymore because that ledge no longer was there, or that bench, or, you know, this rail didn't exist anymore, and stuff like that just made it totally suck. I'm super hyped for Tony Hawk, you guys. What about you? What do you think?
Justin, start it off.
Well, I am also very excited. I noticed that the Switch wasn't on the list, but I'm assuming that's going to come later.
Maybe. They haven't said yet, though. So.
Yeah. I mean, it would be a smart move for it to, like, I would like to play it on the Switch. And then if it's on the Switch, they can have a special edition board where you plug in both of the Switch controllers at either end of the board, and then you can stand on the board and do your tricks.
And it becomes Tony Hawk's Skate, you know?
Yeah,
like
that one that everyone hated.
yeah, we've got it. Perfect.
But I'm super excited. Like, I actually thought it was kind of cool that the special edition actually comes with, like, a birdhouse deck.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that was a nice... My only thing that I thought was disappointing about that was like, bro, like, you should totally throw in the soundtrack, like, for the $100. Like, I would pay an additional $20 for, like, a deluxe edition if it came with the soundtrack for both games.
I wonder if it's just a licensing thing why they can't, maybe, or something like that. You know, because
that's the thing, is they got the licensing to obviously remake the game. So I'm like, what's another?
I'm wondering what tracks don't come back. Because it's like, yeah, I'm sure they've got like Superman, and obviously they had police struck by dead Kennedys in the trailer and stuff like that. So some of the quintessential ones are there, but I'm just curious what like deep cuts didn't make it. Are the distillers like, fuck no, you can't use Seneca Falls, losers? What happened there? But no, I'm right there with you. If it and make it like, put it on a CD in today's age, I'd still rock it. Like it'd live in my car, it'd be fine.
Yeah, I'm excited to play this game. I know it's, we always bash on remakes and remasters and all that stuff, but this is actually one that I'd be looking forward to. I mean, it was always a good mindless game to play. It was fun. There was, it was a basic objective, skate around the park, get better, get the highest score, be rad, and show your friends up. But it was dated. It did have the Twisted Metal feel to it, as far as like graphics and stuff like that back in the day. But yeah, I mean, it looks beautiful. It looks gorgeous. I mean, it's a far cry from what the game was. I just wish it was a new Tony Hawk game, but I'm happy with it. Like, I'm still gonna play the hell out of it. So,
well, and I think it's gonna be one of those things where you might get a new Tony Hawk game depending on how this one sells.
Yeah, I was like, I'm hoping that it does well enough that leads to getting number 3 remade, because 3 was like my shit on the GameCube.
Well, I wonder if they might have 3 as DLC for this. Because if they're including the 3 moveset in 1 and 2, then it's already built in. You know what I mean? At that point, it just is level packs.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I love the neighborhood in 3 and the cruise ship. I was all about the cruise ship.
I know. I like playing as Darth Maul.
Yeah. Oh wait, I bet we don't get any of that anymore, huh?
Well, see, what I'm interested in, and I think would be cool, is like with them, it coming out. It's going to be one of the first games that's coming out that I think that is actually going to have cheat codes again.
Oh yeah, that'd be rad. I mean, but also, yeah, or are those just going to be skins? Like, yeah, give us $2 to be Wolverine or Spider-Man or something. I could see that being the way too. It's like, oh, we don't have cheat codes anymore. We have this store that you can pay actual money to be Darth Maul. Like, hey, come on in, guys.
You could be the little never soft eyeball again.
Yeah. All right, who's your go-to? Who's your? It's been 20 years. What pop culture thing outside of Wolverine and Spider-Man and Darth Maul would you want to have as a skater?
Like in the past 20 years, or like now, like in today's 2020
It can be whatever you want, man.
I think like Deadpool would be fun.
Yeah, he'd be dope.
And my special move is he just bails super hard and then reforms on, or like just his head lands on the board and keeps skating and slowly starts reforming.
Yeah. He like slices the board in half and like does like a T pose like with it, and then like reassembles it like back together.
That's pretty good. That'd be pretty good.
Oh man, I can't think of anything. I don't know. I can't. Yeah, come back to me. What would you want?
Shannon's like a Xenoblade character.
Yeah, totally.
I was just gonna say have one of have the hookups decks in there, and then like you could just be skating as like a cat lady with big titties.
See, I was gonna say give me like Frodo Baggins, like a tiny hobbit on the skateboard with some big ass feet, just like, and you go super fast because you're small but your feet are huge, so you get a lot of propulsion.
You got a low center of gravity, so it's hard to fall off your board. Like, it's pretty forgiving.
Yeah, and then you put the ring on, and then all of a sudden you're in the shadow world, and all the levels are like negative and backwards or something.
Uh-oh. They're encroaching on Justin's space.
Right.
What? I was gonna say, dude, I think it'd be cool too to have like Freddy Krueger or something in it.
Okay. Yeah,
That'd be
yeah.
dope. Do some like horror, like stretch his arms out and shit. And...
That'd be rad. From what was that? The second one, the first one, when he's walking down the alleyway with the super long arms. Yeah.
How about getting like a Battletoad in there, so like you could jump hella high and do like super insane tricks, like get up on super high ledges and stuff. I mean, that'd be pretty cool.
Well, now you're getting into like Soul Calibur, like console exclusive type stuff.
Yeah, no, right?
You get Battletoads on the Xbox, you get Crash on the PlayStation, and you get like Kirby on the Nintendo. You know, it'd be great.
He just inhales the board and like spits it out, and then just does a gnarly like toe grind on like a rail or something like that. It'd be pretty cool.
No, that would actually be way too cool. Like Nintendo would have it be some fucking like Splatoon squid character or like ARMS combatant. You know.
Well, I was gonna say his skateboard would be the little yellow star that he rides on. And so you'd be like hovering around, like when you'd be like grinding and stuff. It's like, wow.
All right, I'm on board. Who do I call? Like, let's do this. Okay, well, then Justin, you wanted to talk about this game coming up? What looks kind of like Digi-Pokemon-ish?
Yeah, I saw a trailer for it just came out. It's called Cassette Beasts, and I thought it looked interesting because like the art style and stuff is kind of akin to, kind of like the old like the Pokemon Ruby / kind of like Sapphire Game Boy Advance kind of era looking graphics, maybe a little bit crisper and nicer and stuff. And then I know it's early footage and stuff, but then it shows it like go into like a Pokemon style battle, and it's kind of like 2v2 looking. But the twist is instead of collecting Pokemon and stuff, you're basically collecting cassettes that I guess have kind of like monster sort of DNA or something on it. And then when you press play on your little Walkman thing, you turn into the monster. And then you can the other person, so you can mix and match cassettes and do whatever, and then the second person thing or whatever in your party, you can fuse with them, like in like season 3 of like Digimon and shit. They like fuse together to create this like ultimate monster thing, and it like affects your health and like your moves. So it's like pretty ambitious, for what it is. Like it's just a small like little indie game and stuff, but I thought like graphically it looked pretty cool, and like if they do it right, it's kind of like an interesting twist on like the Pokemon formula and stuff.
Did you ever play Monster Rancher?
No, I know of it. I saw I've watched the anime a little bit, but I never played the game.
So that had the rat. It was a little Pokemonish too, but it had the super cool thing of you could put like an audio CD in your PlayStation, and
guys, the house phone's ringing.
Oh,
it was like my parents' house phone. Listen, are you excited, Shannon?
I am. It's not me.
It wasn't that loud though.
No.
Oh.
Yeah, Shannon keeps his phone right by the mic.
No, I don't. I just have parents who are hard of hearing, so the volume's turned up on like all of them.
Shannon's like, I gotta make sure when Joe Biden calls, I answer.
No, but Monster Rancher had this cool thing where you put a CD, like an audio CD, in your PlayStation, and it would rip a monster out of it, and you could then have it in your game, which was pretty cool. So it just made me think of that with like the cassettes, But
dude, that reminds me of like when I was a kid, I had this Tamagotchi kind of thing, but it was called Scanners with like a Z and stuff, and it was
extreme.
Yeah, well, yeah, dude, and it was like it had a little like scanner light thing, and like if you scan barcodes, that's how you get the monsters in. Is like the barcodes. Okay. So I'd like carry it around the fucking grocery store, and I'm like in the aisles, like, like my mom's like, "Dude, come on, we need that." And I'm like, like try to scan everything like while I'm in the store and stuff. Be like using up all the black ink, printing barcodes and shit. I get home from the printers trying to scan them all.
That's hilarious.
Hey Justin, like real quick, did it just get really dark at your house? Like I mean, like all I could see is your teeth.
Yeah. All of a sudden you're like living in shadow.
If you want, I can turn the lights on so you can see me. Yeah, I was like on this side of the house. The sun's setting on the other side, so now.
Mm, mm. All
So
right.
here,
Well,
I know Shannon misses my face.
I do. I
Well,
do.
I think it's just that it's slowly looking like he's in a horror movie.
I know he's about to get murked.
Yeah.
There we go.
There it is.
Shannon was just becoming increasingly worried that you were gonna get murdered, like in a horror movie.
Yeah,
where
the
you did.
closset slowly starts
Yeah,
opening. This stuff.
yeah,
And you
totally.
guys are trying to warn me, and like Skype's like freezing, and I'm like, "What? I don't understand, guys." And then it cuts, and I'm gone.
Yeah. There's just like a bloody handprint on the back of the closet, and you're gone.
And then at the end of the commercial, it's like, "Piracy is a crime."
Nice. Jesus. Anyway, Shannon, I cut you off. What were you gonna say about this?
I was just looking at it myself. I mean, it's pretty cool. It reminds me of like the older style like Pokemon games where it's still like kind of like 8-bit and like the or like 16-bit and like the overworld, but then like you get to go and yeah, it like goes into like that side screen where like everybody's turning into monsters. Some of the monsters look pretty cool. Some of them, man, there's some jank in some of those monsters, but I mean, like the traversal of the world seems pretty cool. Like they give you gliders, so you can jump off of high ledges and glide down. Like you got this ability to where you can like use like electricity and kind of like ride the lightning up to like a higher level. That looks pretty cool. I mean, all of it looks super dope. Like, I mean, it screams like a Switch title. Which is good because like we said, that's primarily where I'm doing most of my gaming these days. But yeah, I'd be interested in playing this game, like RPG and like Pokemon style elements to it. Give me that, please.
But yeah, I noticed it was like a little rough around the edges, but I'm assuming like I would almost go out on a limb to say the main point of the trailer is almost like a proof of concept in the hopes that like Epic Store is gonna throw some money at it and stuff, and then and then they can hire more artists or do whatever, and I'm sure it'll look drastically different once they get some like funding and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good pick. I like it.
Definitely something to keep an eye out for. It's got the pieces. It's got the pieces. Mm-hmm. Speaking of new things, there was a reveal today through Sony and Jeff Keighley's Summer of Gaming generic name 101, whatever he called it, where Epic has shown off Unreal Engine 5. And damn, it looked pretty and made me want a Prince of Persia remake real bad. The 2008 one where you jump off walls a lot. Shannon, what do you think about this? You saw that trailer.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Like I just it astounds me that the technology is this strong. But they were talking about like triangles and pixels and like how everything can like fluidly talk to each other. I'm like, wait a minute, like what's going on? Is this like the rise of the machines? Is like this going to be like an augmented reality where we're going to be like I mean, this is what I want, like in a video game technology. I mean, like it's progressing, like it seems like it's a huge leap from what the other processors were being able to do and put out, and like it's breathtaking. A lot of the imagery that you were seeing, really, like, I mean, it was beautiful. It was gorgeous. It was, I mean, like, I never thought I would see a video game finally start to get to this level. And they're so close to perfecting, like, just the movements of people and everything else that, goes into making a game immersive. Like, it's just the subtle things that kind of get you to pay attention. Like going through caves or like traversing through like a really tight spot or looking at lighting effects. Like, just the way the light crossed some of the like just the way the lighting effects hit the character that was going through that cave in certain spots, really like just made me be like that. Like you would not see that anywhere else. This is legit. This is like next level right here.
Down to the like dust particles in the air and stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's kind of insane.
there was one thing. I mean, there was one little movement that they did that just kind of still struck me as kind of like, oh, that they haven't quite nailed that yet. But like, that's nitpicky. I mean, that's just like me. Like, look. I mean, they did an amazing tech demo. I mean, like, it is like it. I sat there with my mouth open the whole time, just like collecting flies. Like, oh my god, this is amazing. So like, if this is proof of concept and the Xbox is stronger, as far as processing power right now than the PlayStation, I would love to see what both of these consoles do. To me, it's a shame that Xbox's demos or like their conference this week was all third party games. So like it's gonna look just as beautiful on the PlayStation. So that got me hyped. But yeah, I mean, I would be interested to see how it looks on the Xbox compared to the PlayStation. Now that's like the next thing I want to see. Like what do these units actually do as far as horsepower and processing? Like what is the finished product going to do to this demo? Like just put it on those consoles and let us see it.
And I think you're not going to see that until everyone does their first party stuff in July. Which is the real bummer, because it's like everyone was thirsty for this for so long. It took forever to get here. They started finally leaking some stuff out about like what next gen stuff actually looks like. But it's kind of where you're at, where it's like, yeah, that's beautiful. I kind of need to know something other than it's beautiful at this point. And we're not going to see what these systems are, this amazing hard drive Sony's built in and all of their forward-thinking architecture that Cerny put us all to sleep describing. Like what does that actually mean once the game is up and running and there's something to play on it? Like what does all that mean? What do all the teraflops and the bandwidth and all this stuff that Microsoft keeps spouting? Like, great, awesome. What does that mean? Like, tell me what it means. And it's to know that they were like, sure, we will in July. Like, that's like, fuck you guys, Jesus. Yeah. I don't know, Justin, you have thoughts? I know you're more of a PC guy anyway, but do you have thoughts on this demo?
I did see the demo, and I thought, I agree. It looked really gorgeous, and I thought like the different, like kind of like when they showed like the portal thing and stuff, like the particle effects looked really good. Hair looked really good. When I saw the climbing and stuff, you're right. It made me think of like Tomb Raider or like Prince of Persia and stuff with the kind of traversing around and stuff. But I thought it was really cool. I was like, I would be down to see like an actual like game and stuff in it. But I think it's gonna be good.
Yeah, I guess it came out after the fact, and we're like, to be clear, this isn't a game. Like this was something we made to show this engine off. There is no game associated with this setting or this character. And they did come out after the fact and be like, oh, and this runs exactly the same on the Xbox. We have a partnership with Sony. That's why we're here. But it works everywhere it can run. It'll run. So
they're like, see, you don't understand. The Xbox utilizes tachyon particles far superior than the PS5 will.
Yeah, and I'm like, you just made that up, huh? But I think the time has come, gentlemen, for the Mike Miller Animal Crossing check-in. And what I wanted to start it off with, so the NFL schedule came out last week, and a bunch of teams did really dumb social media shit to announce their schedule, because for some reason that's a big deal. And by the way, everyone knew who everyone was playing back in January. I don't understand why it was like a big thing to yeah, we've created this whole thing to announce the schedule with, which is really dumb, except for the Detroit Lions, who created their entire schedule release within Animal Crossing. And you can find the video pretty easily, just YouTube it or just put it in Google, you find everywhere. But it was actually super impressive, some of the things they pulled off with like just going through the schedule and like having little setups where like, the guy would catch fish or he'd bury something or he'd, chop at something, and it's like, oh, okay, that works. This totally works. I was pretty impressed. What were you guys' thoughts?
Like they had the little villager in the Green Bay Packers shirt, and they pulled out the nets, and we're just booping him in the head.
yeah, I thought that was pretty good. Just I don't know. Like I was just really impressed by the overall creativity of it. I just was like, yeah, you can use Animal Crossing for a lot of stuff.
They even threw in that Carol Baskins, Tiger reference and stuff.
Yeah, like I said, it's it's bad radio for us to sit here and describe a video, but it's totally worth your time to go watch it. I highly recommend it. How was your week in Animal Crossing? Anything big happen? Any big moves?
Let me see. I got my clothing shop up and running. I got let me see. I got my second level added onto my house. So I think the only thing I got left now is the basement. Let me see what else. I bought some artwork. And then I went like double down. I made, about 3.5 million bells last week with the turnips because of Jordan's Jordan's Island was putting out some pretty good prices. So I'm sorry, Justin. I just had to go there and maximize my profit. So I doubled down on this week and just put in like 2.5 million. I didn't want to do it all, but hoping I get some good turnip prices this week. So far, like Tommy and Timmy on my island have been Scrooges, and like I think the best price I've seen is 111 bells. So
like ever,
dude, yeah, like you've texted me. You remember? Like you're like, what's your turnip prices, dude? They're abysmal. Like in like double digits, like $88 to like $54 or 54 bells. Like it is a tragedy when I go to them. I don't even do it anymore. Like, I don't even go to my island. I just wait for somebody to be like, hey, come over here. All right. So, yeah, like my island is littered with turnips right now, just waiting for somebody to be like, come over and sell them.
I've hit the point where I kind of don't care about turnips anymore. Just because, like, I've got I've had over 6 million in the bank for 2 weeks now. And it's like I've hit the point where money seems pretty pointless. Because just playing the game, I get enough money to do what I want to do without ever taking anything out of the bank. And I don't have any more upgrades. I've built my bridges. I've built my inclines. So it's like until I want to go change them all, I guess, there's no point to really just scrooge up some money in the bank when... And also, I'm just kind of over the pain in the assness of the turnips. Having to go to someone else's island to sell them, and it takes you like 5 trips. That sucks. It's a pain in the ass every time you do it. So yeah, I'm over my bell high, is what I'm saying. I rode the endorphin rush off the stock market there for a couple weeks, but it's been diminishing returns, and I'm kind of over it at this point.
So have you like completed the game? Did you get did KK come to your island and do his concert? Okay, so like what is the draw for you now for this game?
I still enjoy the fishing. I like catching stuff. I like the slot machine nature of it. Of like, oh, what's it gonna be this time? Oh, it's a fucking sea bass. Great, and I just kind of like futzing around. And for me, with my wife and my kid playing so much, it's like kind of fun to interact with them, because like a lot of times when like I know I'm going to be at work, it's like I'll just bury some stuff for him in his front yard and he can dig it up and find it, and just little things like that. But other than that, yeah, it's definitely it's getting backburnered for me a lot. Like this last week I played more Viva Pinata than anything, just because we've gotten super obsessed with that game. And that game is really kind of gross about every time you play it, they just show you another random pinata on the side. That's like a higher level thing. We'll just show up and walk through and leave, and that's it. And for the next week and a half, your 6-year-old son is yelling at you about why haven't we found the walrus yet? And I'm like, dude, the walrus? Like, We're focusing on trying to get the goddamn tigers, and you're sitting here talking about walruses. Focus, child. I can't have snow. It's Tigerland. But I don't bring my personal problems. But so yeah, I've kind of hit a wall with it. I think I see myself start to duck out on Animal Crossing. It's still going very strong with my wife and my son, but it's kind of I'm losing it a little. Justin, what about you? You still going strong?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much what I've been like. Really, I didn't even buy turnips this week.
Bro,
And I was like, oh, but I mean, I do have like
Just
25.
forget, or?
Yeah, I meant to. My price wasn't like that great. It was like 105 or something.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like one of those things where it's like, I mean, I also have 25 million bells, so it's
Yeah.
like I can buy Nook's Cranny for fuck's sake. So it's like I'm like, I don't necessarily need the money, but I mean, I still mainly do it just because like my friends are all still playing it and stuff. So it's kind of like a fun thing to like still keep me engaged in
Sure.
Animal Crossing and stuff. But I just didn't do it this week.
It helps you feel like a little social,
Yeah.
at least.
Like besides that, I mean, I've mainly collecting like all the fruit on my island and just selling it and stuff, and I'm trying to get like all black furniture and stuff in my house and get it kind of and build out my kitchen, try and get those goddamn ironwood recipes and stuff to build that out and stuff. And I'm like 3 fossils away from completing the fossil part of the
Oh,
museum.
really?
So yeah. So
Nice.
I want to do the museum, like the actual art part next, but fucking Red does not want to show up on my island for some reason. I don't know why, but
Why did you scare him off? What did you do?
exactly. I did Scorpion last night, and I was so excited, and I was like, I didn't see it at first because it was like wedged in the corner of one of my ramps, and I was like, what the fuck is that? And I realized it was a scorpion. Oh shit! And I like ran up the ramp, and I was like, okay, and I like was all super nervous. And I pulled the net out, and I went to go like catch it, and it walked like back into the ramp, and then like disappeared. And I was like, no! I was like, man, I was too slow on the draw for that, but
have you gotten yourself a mahi mahi yet?
no, like, see, and like I do need to do more fishing and more bug catching and stuff like that because I haven't really done that and stuff. But I don't know, like I'm excited for I know they're gonna be probably doing more updates in the future and stuff like with the Earth Day and stuff like that. I know they're gonna do more events and stuff like that to come. One of the things that I'm like waiting for them to do though too is I really want them like in a Nintendo Direct here soon or something. They need to do a fucking overhaul for the Nook Mile system because it's
Yeah.
like I have all the shit for the Nook like you can use Nook Mile like they're pointless to me now. I keep earning them, but there's nothing to spend them on besides like Nook Mile tickets or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I bought all the recipes. I'm like, all the stuff in the shop is the same at this point. Like, I'm like,
Yep.
I need all of this to just go away and then just unlimit. Anyone who is gonna buy any of this shit has probably already bought this shit by this point. So give me all new stuff. Give me some new KK Slider songs. Like, let me buy more than one like a week, like maybe 2 a week or something. Like, because I keep there'll be weeks where it's like it's nothing but songs that I already own, and I'm like, come on, man. Like,
Did you get the? Do you have the jukebox?
I don't have the juke. I just have like a shitty radio in my
So
little work.
my son has the jukebox, and you load the records into it. It's one of
And that's like
the coolest things.
that is cool. I was like, I mean, with like the little stereos and stuff, you do the same. You register the song or whatever in it, and then it's gone, and you can like pull it out if you want to like hang the record on your wall.
I do like that. It's just a cool system. Like the whole like music system. It's like I think that's the maddening thing about Animal Crossing. There are so many really smart things in that game. And things like loading the music you buy into the jukebox and then you can just play songs off the jukebox is awesome. Is freaking rad. the fact that I can't make 5 fish bait if I have 5 clams at a single time is the dumbest decision. And it's like, how do you get something so dumb, but other things so right? Like, just how is something so perfect and the other thing is so bad?
The fact that you have to eat a piece of fruit one at a time, up to 10, but you can eat 10 goddamn turnips at the same time. Like, who does that? Like, why? I don't want to eat 10 turnips. I do want to eat 10 cherries. But yeah, bad choices all the way around. So in some places.
And like I said, in other places, amazing.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, it's maddening.
Oh, yeah. But anyway, that's Animal Crossing for this week.
Yeah.
What else have you been playing? Anything else besides Viva Pinatas?
Nah, I really haven't, because I've hit the point this week where if I wasn't working or playing Viva Pinata with my kid, I just wanted to sleep. I was done, like just cooked. It was a week, you guys. So I haven't really been doing much of anything. What about you though? You guys have been playing stuff, so you tell me.
Justin, you go first.
Yeah, Shannon needs to work up what he's going to talk about for Butt Plug Adventure 64 over here.
Yeah.
Dude. Last weekend, I went over to my friend Matt's again, and I got to play more Moving Out.
Oh, yeah.
And
I downloaded that. I just haven't played it yet, but I do have it, so.
Well, yeah, we went through and played some new levels and stuff, and we actually beat, like, I was telling you about last time about the challenge levels and stuff and how we were getting wrecked on it and it was killing me and I was crying on the couch. We managed to totally jank it and beat it, and we unlocked like another 3 or 4 challenge levels that I thought were way easier than that first one. But it's like for the first challenge level, we're going about we're trying to be on, because it's like the small walkway, so we're trying to be, you're like, okay, either end of the couch. But what we ended up doing to actually do it was we both just got on one end of the couch, like side by side or kind of angled weird, and like dragged the couch backwards with us. And even if like one of us was like falling off the level, you can like kind of just jump back. As long as you're hanging on, the other person can still kind of move the couch. So it's like he'd be dragging me and I'm like hanging off, and I'd kind of be able to hop back on the platform with him, like turn, and I'd be hanging off again for like another like minute or so and then hop back on. So we kind of like jerry rigged our way through it. But it was really cool. And then there was one level where it was some like, was that Fast and the Furious 7 where they're on the longest tarmac ever on the plane?
Yeah, it might have been 6. Yeah, but yeah.
There was a level that was basically that, where you're on a plane and you're on the wings of the plane and there's cargo in the plane and the moving truck is like driving under the plane. You have to chuck shit off the plane wing into the truck. And so you have to like time it, because then the truck will slow down and the shit will just like get run over and stuff. And you have to, and you're like under the gun of the clock and stuff because the plane's gonna like take off and stuff. So you have to sit there and you're like, a lot of it's heavy shit, so it's 2 people shit. So we're like sitting there with couches, we're like 1, 2, and like launching it off the plane onto the truck and stuff. So that was really fun.
This game, every time I hear about it, just sounds amazing. I really want to play it. I need to make sure I stay awake one of these nights and actually fire it up so I can experience the glory that is Moving Out.
Now, can you play that game like 1 player or?
Yes. So you can play 1 player, 2 player, 3 player, and 4 player. Mm-hmm. I've only played 2 player, but I watched YouTube videos and stuff because I'm like, all right, how the fuck do you get gold on this level? So I was like watching someone on YouTube play, and they were playing solo. And the main difference that I noticed, so like on like the one level I was looking at that me and Matt were playing, we had 21 objects to move, and there was like, maybe like 4 or 5 of them where like 2 people had to move it. For single player, that same level, instead of 21 objects, it was only 18 objects. And of course, none of them were like some of the objects that required 2 people were now only required 1 person to move. Like there was a couch that is like, okay, only one person can do this. So he just grabbed like the one end of the couch and was dragging it by himself, which you can do in 2 people, but it drags a lot slower and it's harder to move. So you need 2 people to like effectively like move it as good as he was moving it in his.
Gotcha.
So I thought that was like an interesting approach to, 2-player versus 1-player and stuff. It's most of the same item. Like all the same items are in the level, but they just don't have to be loaded onto the truck to win. And then certain ones that require 2 people, you can now do with only 1 person. So I thought that was cool.
That's good because I mean that was the one thing that was really kind of stopping me from pulling the trigger on this or wanting to put it in my queue, is just that there was, I don't know if I'm gonna have somebody to always play this game with.
Yeah.
So I would have liked a solo campaign, but now that I know you can play it 1 player, it's back in the hopper.
Do it now.
Yeah.
I was like, besides that, the only other thing I was playing was while I was like waiting on Animal Crossing or whatever, like I was done for the night, I switched back to Yu-Gi-Oh, the Link Evolution, whatever one on the Switch, and it was funny because they did an update and I had no idea about it, and there was like some shit in the campaign where it's like for like the V-Rains whatever anime campaign, like there was only 3 like duels or missions to do originally, so I had 100%ed it, and when I was going through the campaign list, it said that I did like 3% of it, and I was like, what the fuck? So I opened it up and they like added the entire rest of the anime to the list.
Oh, wow.
So there was like a whole new campaign basically for me to do that I hadn't done yet. And I was like, oh shit, which means they added a bunch more cards and stuff to the game. And I was like, dude, like I wish I would have known about this. I don't know when it added it, but I'm like, dude, so now I kind of want to go back and like play more of that now that there's more cards to unlock and more stuff for me to do. So
get that blue-eyed white dragon.
Yeah.
Was that like the best moment of your life for the last month or so when you opened that up and it was just like, oh
yeah, dude. I mean, before Animal Crossing, I mean that's what I was pretty much jamming on. Like I put
right?
70 hours into that game, and then now I'm like, dude, I easily have like probably another like 20 hours like worth of shit to play.
Nice.
Well, I mean, it'd be akin to Shannon firing up Xenoblade and seeing like 10 more swords to get or something.
Don't you even say that. I don't even know what I would do.
Or like they added like some new DLC and it's like sword with some anime tits on it, and Shannon's like already halfway out to pulling his credit card, and he's like,
yeah. I have to have it. So this in this week, Shannon, what old JRPG did you purchase since last we've talked?
I didn't buy an old JRPG this week.
Not a new one.
It was a new one. Yeah.
No, I was playing Streets of Rage 4 a lot this week. I apparently suck at this game because I am having a really hard time getting past the boat. I get to the boss, I can probably get her like halfway down. But dude, like I just end up getting just like getting to her, I usually lose both of my lives. And I don't want to get one of the buffs where like you get an extra life, but you basically make half the points. I kind of want to see if I can do it like just straight up without like any crutch.
Sure.
But I'm still learning those dudes with the yellow bandanas that like sit in the back with their hands in their pockets and then all of a sudden whip out like a hurricane kick that like hits you 3 times and then like knocks you over.
I think those might be my favorite dudes though. I like how just like they know they can kick your ass. They don't have to pull their hands out. They're just walking around with their hands in their pockets, like, yeah, whatever, man. And then they just try to kick the crap out of you. Like, I like those dudes.
And it like overrides your attack if like you're jumping through the air. Like you have to like jump and then like kick like right away, so your foot's like out, so they run into it when you jump through the air. So yeah, that's kind of annoying. But other than that, I bought this other game that was on sale. It's called Relic Hunters Zero Remix. It's
Okay.
It's kind of like it's a dungeon crawler where you keep your progress when you die. Don't expect to make it through too far right off the bat, because you need to kind of get levels and strengthen your characters and make them stronger. But it is kind of a fun top-down shooter. It's not. I hesitate to say shooter because you do have melee weapons. Like right off the bat, you start with between being able to choose two characters. There's I think like 7 you can choose from, like that you unlock later on in the game. But you go through the game, you start out like just being able to punch people, and then after you get through like the first level, you can pick up a gun, then you can start to shoot people, and it's kind of got that twin stick dynamic, but you can also like hold down the right trigger and you can aim where you want your bullets to go, because ammo starts to become pretty scarce. And then, there's going to be like gangs of people that are going to be like shooting at you. Then you discover that
is there any penalty to do that? Like, does it does it use up energy or something to like?
It slows down. Like you're not able to dodge as fast.
Okay.
So you kind of have to, if you're going to use that aim function, you kind of want space yourself, like try to surprise the enemy, because like the minute the enemy sees you, they like all scatter in like different directions and they're all firing at you, and it kind of turns into like a bullet hell kind of like situation where you're just trying to like dodge all the bullets and then like just kind of shoot your way out of the situation. So it is kind of fun. You do rack up like currency and things like that while you kill people. And then when you finish like every other level, like you get to go into like the store, and you either get to buy power-ups for your character, or you can buy like first aid or other things that will help you like go longer in the game. So I'm playing that right now. It's fun. It's a good like palate cleanser from the other games that I'm playing, just to kind of switch it up for a little bit. And I think it was on sale for like $10. So for that price, I would say it's definitely something that I would pick up. But if it goes up into like the $24 range, I would say I would hold off until you see another sale on it.
Okay.
I just don't know how much I'm going to play it. Like I said, it's good to kill time, but it's not good. I don't think it's going to hold my attention for long periods of time.
So, I mean, it sounds interesting.
Yeah, it was definitely they kind of characterized it as like a Diablo-esque like game with 8-bit or like 16-bit graphics.
Okay.
I definitely do see the allure of getting like the different types of guns and the different weaponry, but I haven't really seen anything that that stays with you from run to run. So I think it's more roguelike than it is Diablo-like. But it is a fun game. You can go through a battle pretty fast. So you don't really feel like you're investing a lot of time in your growth, which is good.
Gotcha.
But yeah, that's all I've been playing this week.
All right. Oh, hey, did you guys see the New Mutants is actually going to come out? That got announced today, August 28th. It's apparently in the theaters, so it's not coming out, is what they announced, I think.
It's coming out direct on Amazon Prime or something.
Yeah. I mean, if they'd announced that it's like, oh, Disney Plus is where we're showing New Mutants, I'd be like, yeah, great. That makes a ton of sense. Just get it out and get it out of the way. That movie was made 5 years ago?
Wow.
It's been in the can for 5 years. It's like, at this point, just either say it's never coming out or just let it out. No one cares anymore. Whatever plan they had for New Mutants being some piece of the X-Men universe movies, that's gone. Yeah, X-Men's gone. So I'm curious to see what that is, though. Because remember that original trailer made it look like a horror movie, and I was like, hell yeah, let's do super scary mutants. I'm on board. This rules. And then apparently that got it completely trashed and recut, and because they were like, oh wait, no, we can't do that. And then this new new cut of the movie's just been sitting there forever. So I don't know.
I know. It's like Macy Williams is like 17 when they started filming this, and now she's like 22.
Yeah, exactly. She graduated high school and can drink now. That movie's been gone so long.
I'm just super happy that the Mandalorian didn't get pushed back. So we'll get our season 2 of the Mandalorian in October, which will be good for me.
I I was
No,
just gonna
go
say,
ahead.
you know why? Because he always wears a mask.
My understanding is it's the way. So, um, you're welcome, Shin. Uh, I meant to ask you or talk to you, I should say, Shan. I saw Onward this last weekend.
Oh yeah, what'd you think?
That was not good. That was not a good movie. Um, I feel like you lied to me a little bit by about how good that movie was.
I don't think I said it was good. I think I said it was all right.
He's
Did I say it was
backpedaling,
good?
everybody. Look at that face. That's the face of a backpedaler.
Oh, come on now.
He's about to start playing cornerback in the NFL the way he's running backwards. Just work those legs, Shannon's. Anyway, no, okay. I don't think you were gushing over the movie ever, but at the same time, you didn't really tell me that it wasn't all that good. Like, the movie's not that good, and I was distracted the entire movie by going like, why isn't this just Jack Black? How come this character is just not Jack Black? This just needs to be Jack Black. Like, I mean, there's nothing wrong with what's his name, Pratt. But man, it was a character made for someone else, and they just stuck his voice in there, and it was distracting like the entire time. I don't know.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I could definitely see Jack Black filling that role a little bit better. I didn't like the ending. You
mean the way they were like, holy shit, we're out of time. We've got like 20 more minutes. Yeah, could we just wrap all this up? Just I don't know, MacGuffin it. It's over. Okay, great. Whew. Man, that was close. Like, that's seriously the end of that movie. It was just like
yeah,
anyway.
it did feel a bit rushed. The last battle was a little, it didn't last as long as I thought it was going to last, but
as it should have, considering the whole movie was building up to it, and it begins and ends in 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they did a Game of Thrones on it. They pulled the Game of Thrones on us. But it
like right when it got good too. It like finally, like the battle was finally like getting good. Some of the effects were pretty cool. Like I was digging the set piece and like what the dragon was and all that. I thought was awesome. Mm-hmm. And then it's like, oh, it's stabbed and dead now. Moving on.
But you have to realize though that Blue Linguini had his brother all along.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Where was the little rat? But it. And also, that was just not satisfying. No, I'm sorry. You realizing that your dad was gone and your brother filled the role of your dad your entire life, so now it's okay that you like don't see your dad. Like, no, that's not okay. Like, I'm sorry, that's still not good.
It reminds me of this like really weird like offshoot thing that like I watched when I was in like grammar school. Like one of the teachers made us watch it. And it was all about like forgiveness and things like that. And it was about this like planet where like these kids lived on this planet, and like the sun only shined like 1 hour for like, every 7 years.
Yeah.
And like the kids were all getting ready to go out because it was going to happen on that day. And like this punk ass kid like locked this girl in the closet, and like, and then the sun came out and everybody forgot the girl was in the closet and they all went outside to play. And she was like stuck in the closet and she was just like looking under the door and all she could see was like the sunlight. And then she was like, the sun went away and then everybody came back inside and they're like, oh crap, we locked her in the closet. And they open her up and like she's crying and she's upset. But then like everybody's like walks by and they give her like one flower from like outside because like the flowers bloomed for like that 1 hour. And then like she was supposed to be like happy and forgive everybody. I was like, no, I was like, it's reminded me of like the same thing. Like I was like, dude, I was like, this is just one of those weak ass like storylines that Pixar came out with. I didn't really like it. Like somebody watched that movie and then was just like, we can do the same thing, but we'll do it with elves and fanciful stuff, and like we'll make unicorns like the raccoons of this world, and people will think it's great, and like they won't look at the rest of this stuff.
I mean, the raccoons being trash pandas was probably the highlight of the movie. So let's not poo-poo that too much. But no, and yeah, like that was a conversation I was having with my wife afterwards. Was everything in that movie seemed like half thought out. It was like, okay, there's magic in the world with like elves and trolls and orcs and all this stuff, and like sure, but they just figured out science was better than magic. And what does that world look like now? It's like, great. Do I get a joke beyond the stop sign says halt? Like, come on, really? That's like where we're going with this? And I mean, I did think it was hilarious that his brother essentially knows his view of world history from Magic the Gathering, which made me kind of laugh. Um, but also it just like, yeah, like that wasn't really filled out. And then like all has to happen in a day when if you would have told me 7 days, it would have made a lot more sense for the pace of that movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, I can suspend belief that this kid got at least competent on how to use magic abilities over the course of a week. But when you're telling me this whole thing started in like 12 hours and now he's fighting dragons in the air and shit, it's like, nah, man. Like he's just more liable to kill himself than he is to beat that dragon.
But
yeah,
like, what about like the dad's coming back too, and like the stepdad's like there, and he's all like I'd be trying to stop that, like like he seems pretty cool with like, hey, like you're gonna go check out your dead like husband that's coming back to life, right? And like I'm good, I gotta be cool with that. Like, all right, I guess that's cool.
Yeah.
Like, well, yeah, there's just too much family drama going on there. Like too weird. Like the dynamics, I don't think were fleshed out that much. Like I would have liked to.
Yeah, that was the other half. Sorry, I just thought of their last like half-formed thought they had, which was like, oh, all these magic creatures regaining their abilities. Like the biker fairies realize their wings still work, and like the manticore is flying and like refinding herself as this fierce creature. But then they just kind of stop. All that goes away until the last line of the movie is the stepdad being a centaur going like, oh, I'm born to run, and running, which is never mentioned anywhere. And like, why would that guy say that? Like, he has no like, oh, maybe this kid was onto something with what we used to be like. No, there wasn't like any dialogue to earn that line at any point. Like, it just killed me, the whole thing. And I know, hey guys, I know this isn't a movie made for a 41-year-old man. I get it. I totally understand. But this is a 41-year-old man that is going to have to watch this goddamn movie so many times because my son thought it was hilarious. But you just give me this. Okay? You give me it. Because I know what you're thinking. I know you're thinking this is dumb. But damn it, I want this. So just let me have it. Anyway, sorry. I lost myself for a minute there.
No, it's okay. I'm in the same boat with you. My son saw it and he was just like, I want to watch that. And I was like, well, it's either buy it or like wait a couple weeks and you just won't stop telling me that you want to watch that movie. So I'm going to buy it thinking, it's Pixar. Like they rarely come out with anything bad. Like I think the last bad one that I would probably argue is like The Good Dinosaur. I think was that it? Like that was Pixar.
Was that before or after Cars 2? Cars 2 was the last one I actively hated.
Yeah, that was a bad movie. But I think The Good Dinosaur came out after Cars 2.
I think you're right.
But yeah, I think that was the last bad one I remember them doing, and I was just like, whatever. It's pretty safe. Like I'm just gonna buy it now, and instant regret.
I was like, I would not rope The Good Dinosaur with Onward.
Really?
Justin's like, can we just hit the brakes for a minute, please?
Dude, I was like, I would put Brave on the list closer to Onward than The Good Dinosaur.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
I think Brave's pretty bad also.
I mean, it's not top tier or middle tier for me. The Brave's definitely lower tier.
Okay, I'll give you lower tier, but like I wouldn't put them like next to each other. I think there's more quality.
Well, yeah, no, because Cars 3 has to go somewhere.
It's above Cars 2. It's above Cars 2. Like Cars 3 is at least watchable.
Like
Cars,
that. I mean, like it's got.
Oh.
I feel it's more. Yeah, I think there's more to that one. I like it a lot. I like Cars 3. I don't like it more than Cars 1, but I definitely Cars 2 is garbage. But yeah, dude, like when Lightning McQueen like rolls over, come on, man, like you don't get the feels when you see him like just wipe out on that track. Like realizing he's like.
Do you remember when that was the entire movie trailer?
Yeah,
it's just Lightning McQueen eating shit in slow motion, and like, and the whole theater just having to be like, I think we just saw Lightning McQueen die. What just happened here? Bold choice on Pixar's part for that one. Bold choice.
Yeah, you want to get people's attention? Just show. We don't even need anything else. People aren't going to care about the rest of the movie. They just want to see that.
Hey, also, since we're doing Pixar hot takes real quick, can I just throw it out there that Up's not really that good. Like, I know, I understand. I understand the first 10 minutes. Heartbreaking.
Mm-hmm.
Get it. My problem is the next, 60.
Mm-hmm.
Where
no, I
nothing
agree.
really happens.
Like the draw of the next 60 minutes is the dog and the squirrel joke, which gets really old really fast.
And the bird's kind of annoying.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I mean, Up does some great stuff with just emotions and set pieces, and it leverages a lot, and that opening's amazing. That opening is one of the best short films I've ever seen in my life. But man, once that house gets airborne, that movie just kind of sucks. I'm sorry. Justin, any Pixar hot takes for you?
I mean, I would definitely I was like, I'm sure Robbie has a list somewhere, but it's like I would.
Robbie's
like,
head is exploding right now.
I was like, I would, I'd put Up somewhere. I guess I'd put it in the middle. I'd put it somewhere. It was good at the time, but so many better Pixar movies have come out since then. I would put Inside Out for me is way up there.
Yeah.
With Moana and
I think
Toy
Moana is
Story
actually
2.
Moana is actually a Disney animation. I don't think Moana is Pixar.
Really?
Yeah. Fairly confident in that.
All right, I was like, maybe I don't know. I was like, I know you've seen it enough that you would know.
I was going to say, I've seen Moana, Justin. Let me tell you, and I don't remember the lamp opening before the credits start.
No, you're right, Zach. You're right.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. As far as top of the top go, I mean, Toy Story 2's up there. That's a really good one, and I'm not a Toy Story guy. I still would go Finding Nemo. Finding Nemo's really good. I don't know if it's top 3 good, but it's real good. Monsters Inc. I always like Monsters Inc.
Mm-hmm.
The Monster University was pretty weak though. That movie sucked.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, that's surprising to me.
I'm not a big Billy Crystal guy. And those movies are just kind of hey, you think Billy Crystal's funny? Watch him do this as an eyeball. And I don't know. I wear out on him a lot.
See, for me, I would also I would put Incredibles 2 towards the bottom. And
that baby versus raccoon fight's real good. I understand. I understand what you're saying. I can't tell you how much I love the baby versus raccoon fight. It's really good.
But that's like you saying the first 10 minutes of Up. If you're gonna put
it wound up in the middle.
Baby raccoon.
Up is in the middle.
Okay, I'll put it not rock bottom, but I mean lower middle. Then we agreed lower middle.
As long as it's still in the middle tier, I'm good. I'm good there.
But I mean, we're all going to agree that Coco is probably in the top, right? Top tier.
Yeah, top tier. I would definitely put Coco top tier. Incredibles 1, I would put top tier.
Yeah, totally. I would say top tier. I was for Coco, I was for top. It would definitely for me either be top tier or top, very top middle, just missing top tier.
Mm-hmm.
Just depending on, I don't know how many would make top. Finding Dory's definitely also towards the bottom.
Nah, man, jeez.
It didn't add any. It did not. It's one of those and that's my feeling with Incredibles 2. I was I think it would have been so much better had it come out not 15 years later.
Oh, for sure. That was part of the problem with Incredibles was the world had changed so much in those 15 years, as far as especially superhero films in that time, where it was just
And I feel Finding Dory suffered the same thing. Was it just took too long to come out, and that's where I think Monsters University has the edge over it because like it's hitting that market of the kids who watched like Monsters Inc. and stuff are now in that college era, like whatever. So it hits closer
Which
to
is
home.
ridiculous, but yeah.
Yeah, which so it's like the time gap on that makes sense, whereas the time gap on the other two does nothing for it to benefit it in any way, shape, or form.
Okay, so I'm gonna throw out there for best Pixar movie, Wall-E. I think
Yes.
Wall-E's the Pixar
I'll
movie.
take it. I'll take it. I mean, I've watched that movie like 40 times, and I still like watching it because my son. But yeah, I love that movie. I always find something that's funny and hilarious in it.
It tells so much of a story with no dialogue, which I think is amazing for a actual full feature, all the company weight behind it feature film in today's world. To have that much of a movie without any dialogue is pretty impressive. And it totally works. Like, super works.
Yeah, all those robots are amazing. They all have their own person. They all have so much personality with so little expression and features. I mean, like you could tell. I mean, it's just funny. I mean, like my son right now is into the shorts, the Pixar shorts.
Sure.
So Bernie is like one of his jams, and Lifted is one of his jams, and Piper is like the other one. Like between those three, and like yeah, like I find myself laughing so much at Bernie. It's ridiculous. It just makes me want to go back and watch Wall-E. So yeah.
Justin, your thoughts, Wall-E?
I would definitely put it up in top tier. Like for me, I don't like I said I'm honestly like pretty high strung on like Inside Out being like pretty much number 1 or number 2.
Okay.
I'm like just for me. But I mean I love Wall-E and I agree the storytelling in it and it's like a good glimpse into like what the future could be. Like
right.
If like shit goes south, like it's a very reasonable expectation for people just getting lazy and like forgetting kind of like where they came from and stuff like that.
And shit going really bad on cruise ships.
Yeah.
It's like we're living in today. I would also say Ratatouille is way better than people give it credit for.
Oh yeah,
that's a top movie. And
I was like during quarantine, I've actually probably watched that at least 3 times, maybe 4, and I was like, because Megan's been playing like Disney Plus stuff just like on loop, and I was like, I do love me some Ratatouille.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Well, I guess that's our impromptu Pixar breakdown. But glad you all stuck out this one with us again. We're a little late because of Mother's Day and recording schedules, but we are back on track now, and I am going to toss it to Mr. Shannon Moore for the outro. Shannon.
Well, yeah, like once again, guys, thanks for listening to our awesome show. If you could, please leave us a review anywhere you download your podcasts and listen to these wonderful shows. Justin, do we have anything this week about Negative Space that you want to fill us in on?
No, I mean, I've been pretty busy at work this past week and stuff. I'm in that same boat with Zach, just doing a bunch of overtime and working and stuff, but I have the rest of this week off, so I'm hoping to get a little bit of level design done and stuff.
Awesome, that's great. Well, yeah, if you want to keep up on Justin's game Negative Space, you're more than welcome to follow him on Twitter. You got a handle for Negative Space that you want to throw out there?
I do. It's at negative_ and then space with 2 E's because some dickwad on Twitter took negative space. Beat me to the gun. But
some dude's trying to be all edgy and shit and ended up taking your Twitter handle.
Yeah, it's like his like college like fucking film whatever in black and white, and he's trying to shoot it on like some Nokia fucking camera, but
awesome. I like that. Let's go check it out and then haze him. Anyway, so yeah, that's been our show, guys. We love you. And Zach, what do you got for us as an outro? What would Robbie say?
Well, Robbie would tell you, be great.
Bye. Ooh, this is creepy. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
All right.